Hi guys, James at RampantLionReviews again for you today with another beer review. For this one we are going to stick to Sweden, but we're going to head up towards Gothenburg once again. Göteborg, as you would say in Swedish, the Swedish craft beer capital up on the west coast. Still no idea how many times I've said that on the channel, but there's a hell of a lot of beer up there. And for this one we are going to go to Lindome, just outside of the city. So this is going to be review number 4, if memory serves me correctly, from Island Brewing. And today we're having a look at the Flagranti, which is a Berliner Weisse coming in at 6% ABV, and they've added Passionfruit and Mandarin to the brew in this one. The last beers that I've had from Island Brewing were all sort of hazy New England style IPAs, and this is one that just kind of caught my eye actually. I've been thinking that I need to do more Berliner Weisses and Goses and things like that for you on the channel, so I've ended up with quite a few sour beers this month, I have to say. But this one was released on the 1st of July 2020 as part of the Lokal Småskaligt assortment in Systembolaget. So yeah, my 4th beer from these guys, like I said, my first sour beer though, so hopefully it's an interesting one, and I hope that you guys enjoy my take on this beer as well. Always nice to return to Island Brewing after a little while. I can't remember when the last review I did from these guys was. It must have been, you know, February, March, something like that. So yeah, let's see how we go with this one. As always with my reviews then, I'll tell you a little bit about the brewery before we taste the beer. If you want to get straight to the tasting, just fast forward. All the usual links are in the description below. That's the brewery website, the link to my other reviews that I've done from Island Brewing before. No doubt you will see some more at some point in the near future. There's all the usual social media down there as well. If you want to see more reviews, do please consider subscribing to the channel. The whole channel, of course, has a geography-based tagging system, so you can go into the home page and search for beer based on country, city, state, county, province, prefecture, whatever it is you're interested in. Do check out the playlists of beers from different countries. There is one there for all the Swedish beers that I've reviewed for you. That's constantly being added to. And as always, please do get in touch and let me know some of the other beers and breweries that you guys would like to see me review. It's always great to hear from you guys that are watching the videos, and the support that you show the channel is hugely appreciated. So anyway, to tell you a little bit about Island Brewing then, on to my brewery notes. So Island Brewing, as I've told you before, were founded back in 2016 by Daniel Svensson, who played drums in the band In Flames until 2015, and he was soon joined after that by Peter Evers, who was the bassist in Flames until 2016. So Daniel mainly works on the brewing side of things while Peter deals with the sales, and he also has a restaurant called 2112 in Gothenburg, which is supposed to be nice. I need to make sure that I go there next time and have a look and see what they have, because I've heard very good things about that. But the brewery was originally founded in Fjärås near Kungsbacka to the south of Gothenburg, really nice little town actually, and their first beers entered Systembolaget back in 2016. So they started off with a small 500 litre brewery, but more recently they've moved to Lindome, and they've got a brewery with a brewing capacity there of 2,000 litres per brew. So this gives them a maximum brewing capacity of 340,000 litres of beer per year. But they also have the ability to brew sour beers down there as well, as is evidenced by this one, and I'm sure they will expand their fermentation capacity over the next little while. It's always difficult to keep up to date with how many litres the breweries are brewing each year, but usually the Beer News.se, they put a survey out every year, and a lot of breweries tend to respond to that. But these guys now also have a bar in the brewery which has been remodelled. And as of July 2020, when I'm filming this review for you, they've produced 75 different beers, and there's a whole variety of different things in there, mainly sours and IPAs. I don't know about stouts and darker beers and things like that, but I would love to try something darker from these guys at some point in the near future. I always feel that to get a good idea of what a brewery is doing, you need to try something from the dark end of the spectrum and something from the light end of the spectrum. And if there's a sour in there for good measure, then why not? But it'd be cool to try maybe a lager from these guys at some stage, and also to see if they've got an imperial stout or something like that. I need to have a flick through the different beers that they have, but most of the ones I've seen released recently have been, you know, hazy IPAs and sour beers and things like this. But yeah, as I say, curious to see how this one turns out, and we'll leave it at that for the history section of the video. So yeah, if you want to learn more about Island Brewing, you can follow them on Facebook and Instagram to keep up to date with all the latest goings on. You can check out the Rate Beer and you can check the Rate Beer, Beer Advocate, Untappd pages to learn more about all the different beers that they've done, and of course you can have a look at their website as well. So yeah, let's get on and actually have a taste of this beer then. So as you can see with this one, the artwork on this is a little bit almost psychedelic. Hurt my eyes a little bit when I was trying to read the text on the can earlier. There you can see there is actually a bit of text on this one, but it's really difficult to read. with this on the side here. I nearly knocked my glass over. Heart attack there. But yeah, it says, our lives as musicians have taken us around the globe a few laps, and we've tried a beer or two along the way. This is our version of what a good quality beer should taste like. A beer for everyone, it says. But yeah, I do like that they've put the Swedish flag on this one now, product of Sweden. I do like that when craft breweries do that. This is what country it's from. Always cool in Europe. But yeah, there you can see Odd Island Brewing. There's their address on the site there, Lindome, which is obviously just outside of Gothenburg. But yeah, Odd Island Brewing there. Nicely presented, this one. 330ml can. I actually can't remember how much I paid for this, but I suspect it probably would have been 35 or 40 crowns. Usually sour beers are a little bit more pricey, right enough. But yeah, let's get this guy out and we will get on with the tasting then. Very curious to see what this beer has in store for us. So yeah, there we go. There we go. Should be nice. Let's sugar it up and see if there's any sediment at the bottom. And there we are. Oh, that looks nice actually. That does look very nice. It says, I don't wonder if this one, does it say what ingredients and things are? No, it doesn't actually. It doesn't have the ingredients listed on that, but it just says, yeah, Passionfruit, Mandarin, humlet yeast. So I don't know if it will be a slightly more hoppy Berliner Weisse or something, but yeah, we'll need to see. As you can see, when this beer was poured, there was about a half finger of a frothy, perfect white head on this one. One or two big bubbles sticking towards the side of the glass, and going up towards the bottom of the head there. And you can see the colour of this one is a lovely kind of pale golden straw. And it's quite hazy as well, obviously, because there is a bit of wheat in this beer. If it is a Berliner Weisse, although it's strangely enough, I think it says Berliner Weisse on Systembolaget, but it just says on the side here sour ale, so not sure. It could well just be a kind of, I think if it was a kettle sour, I don't know if it would be quite as hazy as this, but yeah, it looks pretty nice anyway. But yeah, lovely bright golden kind of straw yellow colour there, one or two big bubbles sticking towards the side of the glass, a few little ones going up towards the bottom of the head there, and you can see it has just faded away to be a very thin kind of foamy layer and a nice kind of ring around the outside. But yeah, it looks like a nice beer, this one. Let's take a closer look at the aroma then and just see how we get on with this beer. Very, very curious about this, as I say. Ooh, I think the passion fruit is coming out there really nicely. This one does have a good bit of sourness and tartness to it, I'll say that straight away. I mean, it smells very fresh and very summery, to be quite honest with you. It seems I feel a bit ironic kind of saying that, to be honest, but yeah. There's not much of a malty presence to this one. I mean, you get a little bit of a pale malty quality underneath, maybe a little bit of biscuit or something like that, but yeah, pale malt and biscuit, that's all you can really get on the backbone of the beer. On the hoppy side of things, there's a little touch of an earthy quality to it, a kind of light earthiness in fairness, little touch of floral note there, which balances out some of the fruity characters, and you've also got a wee bit of a kind of grassy note to it as well, but the aroma is most definitely dominated by the fruity side of this one. And I think it's got the sourness. You really can smell the sourness in this beer a hell of a lot. The aroma in that is really lovely, actually. Yeah, the aroma in this one is absolutely crazy. That's just that is a bit mental, actually. I have to say the aroma that comes out of this is very, very nice. Yeah, I like how that goes together. I really like how that goes together. Yeah, in terms of the flavour, the aroma, this then on the fruity side of things, it's really, you can smell quite a bit of a citricy sharpness out of this. I do wonder if that's lactobacillus that's in this, because it really, the lactobacillus I've always found gives you that slightly more pungent aroma, and you can really get that out of this one straight away. So yeah, I do suspect lactobacillus in this one, but yeah, you can get some of the juicier you can get some of the mandarins underneath this, but the mandarins actually come out as quite sharp. I've always found that mandarins are a slightly sharper orange. When you're further away from this beer, actually, you do get some of the softer notes. If I waft it like this, as we were always taught to do in chemistry with some pungent chemicals, we were always told to smell everything so that we would know what stuff smells like. But yeah, this one, you know, you get the oranges a little bit when you're further away. The mandarin oranges come out a little bit more. You get some more of that juicy orange, but you get the juicier passion fruit as well. When you're further away from the beer, the aroma definitely comes out as more soft and juicy. But when you stick your nose in it, it really becomes more kind of it definitely becomes more kind of pungent and sour, definitely, which is quite nice. But both of these fruits, I think mainly, both of them can give you an element of sourness actually. They're big citrusy fruits, both of them. So there's a hell of a lot of that kind of citrusy zesty note coming out there. It really does. The more that you have your nose in this beer, the kind of tartness, the sour tart edge that the beer has, you know, sort of goes off a little bit, and it does start to smell a bit more like a fruit juice in fairness. And I think it starts to lean a bit more towards the passion fruit. I think the passion fruit starts to push its way out a little bit more as well. But yeah, in terms of its aroma, it's pretty straightforward. Sort of pale malty bready backbone to it, a little bit of biscuit maybe, some nice kind of almost German nobly hop qualities, light earthiness, a little bit of floralness and a wee bit of a kind of grassy quality. Then you've got a bit of the lactobacillus, the really sharp lactobacillus, and some nice, you know, some nice passion fruit and mandarin. So it was basically what it says on the can, to be honest with you. So curious to see whether this one is just more of a kind of sour ale, or if it is more of a Berliner Weisse. So yeah, let's have a look at this. It definitely smells a bit more just like a kind of regular sour fruit ale, to be honest with you. But yeah, let's have a taste of this one then and see how we get on. This one is the Flagranti, a 6% sour ale, I guess we'll say, with passion fruit and mandarins from Island Brewing in Lindome, close to Gothenburg on the west coast of Sweden. Let's get stuck into this one. Slange, skål. Ooh, I do like that. That's nice actually. The juiciness you get out of this beer is crazy. Oh yeah, I have to say this does get a thumbs up from me. I like how this one goes together. That's probably one of my favourite sours I've had for a wee while, actually. It definitely has a bit of wheat in the backbone to it. Yeah, the wheatiness comes out of this one a little bit later on, definitely. That's nice, that gets a thumbs up from me. You know, it kind of goes to show you that these guys, they're obviously very capable when it comes to the sour beers as well. I need to try a few more from them. I need to see what's available in Systembolaget actually, because I have no idea. I just got this one through the list. In fairness, it's very difficult to keep up to date with what breweries actually have out, other than using the local lists, to be honest with you. But yeah, I really like this one. And the juiciness that you get out of the fruits in this is great, and it blends really well with the sour side of the beer. That's lovely. Yeah, definitely a very, very summery beer. I think there's no doubt in my mind about that. But this one, if you get the chance to try this, I highly, highly recommend that you do. So yeah, let's try and break down the flavour of this one then, and just see how we get on. So yeah, straight away with this one, when you take this beer in, it's got a lovely kind of, it feels like very kind of wet and sour and oily at the same time. It's got a lovely balance there, and it just juices out very nicely. You take it in on the front of the tongue, it feels like it's going to be sour as hell, but then it really just, you just get a nice level of kind of, it doesn't really have a puckering quality. It is sour, but it's like a juicy sourness you get out of this one. And as you progress further into the aftertaste, you can feel the middle of your palate just almost dries out a little bit, and you start to get the wheaty, kind of bready notes out of the backbone of this beer. But that's really, really solid in my opinion. I like this one, definitely. But yeah, this beer, again, it's one of these ones that's pretty straightforward, to be honest with you. It's a straight shooter. There's nothing too complex about it, but it's just really nicely crafted, and sometimes that's what you need. There's no point trying to make a beer, you know, stupidly complex for the sake of it. It is all about the way the flavours blend together, and this beer is like a kind of prime example of that. So yeah, as I say, when you take this beer in, big juicy sourness there that comes out, then the beer starts to dry out a little bit later. The middle third of your palate has a lovely smooth kind of wheaty quality to it. The back third of your palate is a little bit more, the back third of your palate does have a wee bit more of a kind of, there's a slight bitiness to the wheat, but again, that's very minimal. The middle third of your palate and the back third of your palate are actually inherently smooth, to be honest with you. There's a wee bit of a kind of biscuity quality in this one, in the very centre of your palate, but yeah, the malt base is pretty much just a straight up kind of wheaty, bready sort of thing, to be honest with you, and that suits everything else that's going on in the beer. There's not too much more to say about the malty side of it. In the back corners of the palate, there's a little bit of earthiness in there, I do think there's probably Hallertau or Tittnanger in this one. Maybe, you know, it could be something else German like Hercules or Pearl or, you know, something like that. But I'm pretty sure it's one of the lower alpha acid German hops that's in this one. It just, there's just something about the earthiness and the floral character that comes across as being German. It could also be Jatitz or something, because it does have a little bit of a bright floral quality to it. So yeah, something like that. Dana, Styrian Goldings perhaps would be other candidates. Maybe even some of the Polish hops like Lubelski or something. You know, these are the kind of things that it could be. But I suspect it's a German hop that's in this one. But yeah, in terms of the as you come forward from that earthiness, then it does smoothen out a little bit. Wee bit floral and aromatic on the front corners of the palate. Then around the very front curve of the tongue, it's a little bit brighter and more grassy as well. And that's very nice, I have to say. I do like that about this one. But yeah, the focus on this beer is on the kind of front third of your palate and those lovely kind of juicy fruity notes that the beer has. So as I say, I suspect a little bit of lactobacillus in this one. That really goes together very, very nicely in my mind. So yeah, I do like how that all goes together. How do you say, I think when you have this one, oh, there's a wee moth going around in my room, it's annoying, but yeah, the fruitiness of this one, when you take it in, as I say, on the front third of your palate, it comes across as really juicy, and it's very tart and lactobacillusy. I think it's the mandarins initially, and I think the passion fruit comes out, and it's a little bit softer. You do get a little bit of a kind of passion fruity quality to this beer. You do get a bit of a kind of passion fruity quality to the beer, as you would obviously think. You know, later on, I think the passion fruit, it's kind of got a soft passion fruity layer towards the back of that front third of your tongue, and then the kind of mandarin-y oranges, the juiciness of those comes out a little bit later as well. But you do have that sort of lemony, tart, citricy thing from what I suspect is lactobacillus in this one, and that kind of lingers there. But the mandarins, I think, become a bit more sour and potent later on. And the mandarins do become a little bit more sour and potent later on, whereas the softer passion fruity notes start to come out as well, and some of that citricy note really lingers too. The wheatiness really lingers into the aftertaste as well as a little bit of that earthiness. But I mean, overall, the flavours that come out of this beer are very, very nice, I have to say. So, you know, big thumbs up to Odd Island for this. They've pulled off a really, really nice sour, very, very juicy, pardon me, and very summery, but you do have a little bit of a kind of wheaty backbone to this one. I don't know if you could term this a Berliner Weisse. It doesn't seem like hazy and kind of thick enough to be a Berliner Weisse for me, but it certainly has. It's a lovely fruit sour. There's no doubt in my mind about that. It doesn't particularly matter about what style it is, to be quite honest, as long as it's a good beer. And this one definitely fits into that category for me. But yeah, I like that about this one, definitely. So yeah, I would recommend this one. I think they've got something really very, very nice here. So thumbs up to Odd Island Brewing for this one. In terms of the mouthfeel, I'd say that this is a fairly kind of light-bodied sour, to be honest with you. The carbonation does have a level of crispness to it, and the mouthfeel is mainly quite wet, and it's got a good level of juiciness to it as well. But I've always found that sour beers, for me, sour beers always feel a bit lighter than their kind of regular counterparts, if you can call them that. In terms of hoppy bitterness and stuff, I think you'd be lucky to get 5 or 10 IBUs out of this. There's not a lot to that at all, but yeah, the hops actually come across as very smooth on the side of the palate. The malt base is very smooth again. There's a little bit of sweetness, a little bit of a wheaty smoothness comes out of it, and also a little touch of biscuity note in there as well, like I said. But the fruity notes are lovely and juicy, and the sourness in this one isn't really puckering. It is more of a kind of wet, juicy type sour quality that comes out of this one. The other thing you'll notice about this beer, as you always get when you add fruit into sour beers, the fruity juiciness does come on around the edge of the tongue, and you can feel both of the fruits playing a role in that. The fruit, if you add fruits into the beer, they always suppress a little bit of the kind of hoppy side of the beer, if you like. So I do really like that about this one. This one, as I say, big thumbs up from me, and I really like what they've done with this. So I definitely need to keep an eye on what sour beers Odd Island are releasing, because this one has turned out to be very, very nice. So yeah, let's leave it at that for this one. This one was the Flagranti, a 6% passion fruit and mandarin sour from Odd Island Brewing in Lindome near Gothenburg in Sweden. This turned out very, very nicely, and I'm definitely curious to see what else they've released in this category. So I'm going to go and have a little look at Systembolaget after I turn the camera off. But yeah, thank you again for watching my beer reviews. As always, please like, subscribe, share, all the usual YouTube stuff. Let me know your own thoughts on this beer in the comment section below. Let me know what your favourite beers are from Odd Island. Do give me some other sour beer recommendations as well. I'm getting really into my sour beers these days, but it's been nice to try my first one from Odd Island, and many more breweries in Sweden are having a go at these now as well, which is always great. So yeah, let's leave it at that. Thanks again for watching. Check out my social media, check out Odd Island Brewing, and I'll catch you guys later. This one was the Flagranti 6% Mandarin and Passionfruit Sour from Odd Island Brewing in Lindome near Gothenburg. Slanja, skål, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys very soon. Cheers.